You know, sometimes it just looks like an easy hunt for the best graphics possible in AAA gaming. Everything has to be polished and beautiful and spectacular, but we have reached a point where it's enough to be average in terms of graphics, because the standard is so high these days that in my opinion it's not a flex anymore to have a fancy graphics. Almost every new AAA title have it. So couldn't this be a big turning point in video game industry when developers will be forced to come with some new ideas, gameplay features and especially new art styles? Hear me out. We were able to see recently some AI reimagined stuff, and it looks like a real life, but it's not like a real life like Cyberpunk with RTX or real life like Uncharted 4, because they are clearly very fancy and polished video games, but that doesn't always mean they have to look realistic. When you take a look on this, let's say GTA 4 reshade, like holy shit man. For now, we will ignore the weird things that AI is doing with some text disappearing and some objects missing or its raw resolution quality. My point is, do we really want realistically looking games? When we see a video like that for 3 minutes on YouTube, it kind of reminds me that VR effect when you never had a VR headset and then you try it out and you're like, oh my god, this is too real and it's absolutely incredible and unbelievable and I need it right now, and after 30 minutes it's normal for you and you're not longer interested. When you look back for, let's say, that Uncharted 4, which is for many people the peak of graphical design and cinematic visuals, did you felt like, yeah, maybe it would be more interesting if that sun was less aggressive and spectacular and it wouldn't rise such a beautiful yellow color like it does here, or maybe that house would be more nice if it had more normal colors and the waterfall in the background shouldn't be that spectacular because that's not how it looks in real life. But all of that stuff is making the atmosphere truly astonishing. You would like to spend the rest of your life there, and I will go even further back. Let's go to 2010 with Mafia 2. The reshade looks incredibly real on level that we have never seen before. But the original game does not look bad after 15 years, like the Empire Bear is still a spectacular place. And I don't know if I'm the only person on this planet, please tell me your opinion in the comments on this one, but personally I would rather play the original Mafia 2 than this crazy AI reshade. Because the art style of any game is unique and it brings its own atmosphere, and if you think that I said Mafia 2 just like a random example, you would not be true. Because Mafia 2 developers said themselves that they wanted to create more realistic experience than in the first game, and they clearly achieved it, there's no denying, and it's still on its own unique engine that looks really nice by today's standards. But here's the thing, if you saw a launch of the new RTX 590, you know that it's an absolute beast for gaming and it's able to make over 200 FPS on Cyberpunk in 4K, but only with AI helping. From what I'm able to understand, AI is taking the game picture and it upscaling and it's making another frames in the same time for making smoother experience, and it's still not the best quality. Even with $2,000 graphic beast, there could be potentially AI that will make older games looks like that, and not just the second Mafia but any game you could think of, and all of that in real time of playing. Wouldn't it be absolutely spectacular? Well, that's my point. Do we really want realistically looking video games? Recently, I felt a little bit tired of these big titles from ultra-corpo organizations, so I have taken a look into some indie industry, and of course we all know that indie industry is much more creative world with unlimited ideas because developers are not scared that their games will not succeed because people will not like them. Bullshit. Absolute random example is Hotline Miami. It's purely creative video game with unique art style and an extremely fun gameplay, but still probably your first reaction would be, oh, 2D pixelated retro video game. Never mind. How many games like that you actually tried? I'm not blaming you if you didn't, because humans are very inclined to visuals, that's just a fact. But shouldn't we try more indie games? There's so many of them with different approaches to the graphic and not just in a way of 2D and 3D perspective, and usually they cost almost nothing. Tell me one AAA game that tried to make something unique in terms of an art style in the last 5 years. Okay, I can think of some. Doom Eternal, or maybe Hogwarts Legacy, or maybe Alan Wake 2, but like I said, we have reached a point in gaming where having a fancy graphics is not enough anymore, because everyone have them. even in humongous RPGs that needs 40 hours for finishing. That's why I highlighted the Hotline Miami, because that game is just super simple in any way. It's 2D pixelated thing where you shoot enemies with different guns that you have steal from them, and the art style with that soundtrack is so addictive. It looks like nothing else, it feels like nothing else, and I had more fun than in the Hogwarts Legacy. In my experience, when you try some indie games that became popular over time, you could find out that holy shit, the controls are great. There's some actual storytelling, it's not bugged as hell, it's like functional video game, as every video game should. It's just funny that someone is able to make more functional and funnier video game than some AAA studios with hundreds of millions of dollars, and it can create so unique experience that you will not find anywhere else. I believe that market in this point is ready for some humongous title with purely cartoon looks or with highlighted outlines like Borderlands have, or maybe something with over contrasted sceneries and fantasy worlds, you know, just something that would really stood out. Developers could took inspiration from these many indie games. Just imagine how cool would be something in Hotline Miami on Undertale 2D style in big RPG format with cutscenes and actors with dubbing, and just a pure AAA title. It's obviously endless discussion how could you make the ultimate experience that would attract the whole world, but they were outliers like that, for example Minecraft or Cuphead. Or maybe we can talk about the fact that Ratchet & Clank is keeping its sort of a childish art style for 20 years, but I can't speak for you. So tell me in the comments if you feel like you would enjoy something completely unseen before, if you agree or disagree with me, and why. I will see you soon, and bye, Ratchet out.